I should have had baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian. You know, Kim was Paris Hilton's assistant.
What's going on with it? That is if I ever go to India outfit. Really?
I should have had baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian.
There was a story that came out, a video that was shown saying back in the days when Kim K was Paris Hilton's assistant.
Yeah.
Was it true? Was Kim K Paris's assistant?
Yeah, she used to sleep in my guest room. Yep. And then some weird shit happened. I'm not gonna say what happened, but and then she made it to the master bedroom.
Kanye West just set off a firestorm targeting his ex-wife and her longtime bestie, hinting that Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton may have been passing time with Diddy. What's even crazier, there's talk of a video connected to this, possibly recovered during the raid on Diddy's mansion. Now, if you've been paying attention, this theory about Kim and Paris mixing it up with Diddy isn't exactly breaking news, but things flipped when Scott Storch recently broke his silence. Scott Lett, producer and songwriter, was deep in the celebrity world back then, and he didn't just speak loosely, he laid out specific details from those early 2000s scenes, and it all lines up with Kanye's version way too closely. Back then, Scott was staying on Indian Creek Island, one of the most private high spots out there. That's around the time Paris Hilton showed up. She originally linked with him for music, but it quickly turned into something more. They were officially dating, and through that, he got exposed to a side of fame he'd never have seen before.
And then I sold it like a couple years later to move closer to disaster, which was, I was safe in Bal Harbor, like, and then I moved to Palm Island, and that's where it all happened. So yeah, Paris came to work with me. We ended up dating and had a relationship, and
according to Scott says Paris brought him into the world of paparazzi non-stop parties and that flashy A-list energy. Suddenly, he's in Us Weekly. Spotted on TMZ, he already had the cash, cars, and lifestyle, but she threw him into the spotlight. Before her, he was just a studio guy, staying in his creative zone. He even admitted that he once felt too awkward to act like he belonged in that flashy world.
He introduced me to like paparazzi's nightlife, being like the man, Us Weekly, fucking, you know, TMZ, like this whole party life and wild shit like that I never experienced before, because I was like in the studio night and day. I was rich, I had every car you can imagine, but they only went from the house to the studio and back. Like friends would come over and like they would go to the club and then they would come back after, but then I would ask them how it was. I think I was like nervous to even be cool at that point. And then,
but when Paris came into his life, everything flipped. That moment triggered a change. Scott admitted he got swept up in the lifestyle and even started acting totally out of character. Hollywood had him spinning, and next thing he knew, he was surrounded by people he now sees as arrogant and fake. He avoided naming names, saying it'd be too disrespectful, but the message hit clear. That circle stripped away who he truly was, turning him from a soulful creator to someone chasing attention and validation.
That like I got so caught up in that, and it changed who I was. Like I was hanging out with like people that are just not good, like people that think they're better than others. Like I don't want to call out names, whatever, it's too insulting, but just like Hollywood douchebags. And like, you know, you are what you hang out with, and it changed me from being this like innocent, like soulful, like, you know, organic person to like this quest for fame and this quest to like I wasn't even like really that sprung on Paris. But
and then came Kim Kardashian. At the time, she was just Paris Hilton's closet organizer, but Scott let something slip that had everyone raising eyebrows. He said Kim used to stay in his guest room.
Story that came out, a video that was shown saying back in the days when Kim K was Paris Hilton's assistant.
Yeah.
Was it true? Was Kim K Paris's assistant?
Yeah, she used to sleep in my guest room.
That alone was surprising.
That was already unexpected, but then came the twist. Something changed. Scott didn't spell it out, but said enough to show things took a turn. Kim was no longer in the guest room. She'd moved into the master bedroom. That quiet upgrade said it all. Things got weird from there. He didn't spill all the tea, but it was clear Kim had stepped into the picture. By the time Paris found out, the relationship was already over. He said they were both going through it, commiserating, and somehow that brought them together.
Paris found out, or?
No, it was just like she and I were done, and like I think we were both like had it, and we were like commiserating. What did he say? Karen's she's commiserating at the house from Goodfellas.
Even though their timing was messy, Scott gave Kim her props. He said she was real, focused, and hungry to make something out of herself. He said she followed Paris's blueprint, especially in the foreign scene, and she followed it well.
She was a super cool girl.
Kim was awesome.
Yeah, like
what was awesome about her?
She was organic, and she was just like, you know, eager to like, she wanted to like build her career up. She kind of followed Paris's blueprint with the foreign after whatever. But at that time, she was just a cool kid and like.
Then came the Bugatti story. Scott remembered pulling up to a mansion on Washington Avenue in his Bugatti with Kim riding shotgun. But the wildest part, nobody noticed Kim was even there. All the cameras were locked on him. He said straight up, that was Kim Kardashian next to him, and no one had a clue back then.
I got a video, dog. A picture.
$1 billion Bugatti.
Yeah, that's Scott Storage, yo.
Who the hell is Scott Storage?
Yo, he's a dude that make all the beats and yo.
Oh, look at his girl. Take a picture of his girl, man.
That's Scott Storage, dog.
Hey, look at his girl, homie. Get in the car.
Scott Storage.
Then came the Bugatti story. Scott remembered pulling up to a mansion on Washington Avenue in his Bugatti with Kim riding shotgun. But the wildest part, nobody noticed Kim was even there. All the cameras were locked on him. He said straight up, that was Kim Kardashian next to him, and no one had a clue back then.
Kanye flew home last night, and he came back this morning. I want to show you guys what he got me. He got me all of his take back.
Oh, Kim. Oh my God. That's amazing.
But he
Behind him, his second car, a Mercedes Maybach 62, was being driven by someone he just called his guy. That same dude, according to Scott, always had his stash with him. That was his ride, but the story wasn't told like a flex. It was a raw window into that world. The speed, the temptation, the chaos of celebrity life. It showed how blurred the lines got between fame, indulgence, and survival. Which brings us back to Kanye. Long before he married Kim, he knew what came with her. He knew about the tapes, not just Ray J's, but more than one. And even now, he's still trying to make sure none of them see the light of
That
day.
baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian. You know, Kim was Paris Hilton's assistant.
What's going on with it? That is if I ever go to India outfit.
I said I had a baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian.
he didn't.
But now he's had enough. Just recently, he jumped on Twitch and let fans hear him rant again. This time, he came directly for Kim. According to reports, he said he would have rather had a baby with Paris Hilton than with Kim Kardashian. That one line, it exploded online.
Because could you imagine if I had kids with Paris Hilton, how many hotels I have now? You get what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about that. The Hilton. You know, the Hilton. Because I think I'm staying in the Hilton right now.
But here's the
But Kanye didn't stop there. He went even further, saying that if he had kids with Paris Hilton, he'd be sitting on a legacy tied to the Hilton dynasty. According to him, that would have meant generational wealth, hotels, real estate, and everything in between. But beneath the sarcasm, you could feel the tension, like he's still haunted by the decisions that brought him here. At one point, he even pointed out that he doesn't stay at Hilton hotels anymore, almost as if to highlight just how far off reality is from the future he once imagined.
I'm gonna have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
But here's the twist: the Hilton family hasn't actually owned that hotel empire since way back in 2007. That's 5 years before Kanye even got with Kim, and 6 before their first child. So it wasn't about ownership, it was symbolic. It was the looking back and realizing he walked into a game he never really had control over. And now he's stuck sorting through the regret in front of the entire world. In one of his darker interviews with DJ Akanix, he even confessed he didn't want to start a family with Kim after just 2 months, but claimed the decision wasn't in his hands. Said it wasn't part of God's plan.
His only power is to take my kids. I had a baby with a assistant, bro.
It sucks, you know, when someone doesn't see how different they are. You'll always, hope that you'll see a glimpse of them. And,
when placed.
I didn't want to have children with this woman after the first 2 months, he said. And right around that time, rumors started swirling that Kim might take legal action to limit his access to their 4 kids. Not out of revenge, but possibly because of how unpredictable Kanye had become. And the E wasn't blind to it. He clapped back, saying Kim's only real power was her ability to keep his children from him.
I'll never forget Kanye, not to just be on dissing Kanye, but I remember he came in to visit me and Dr. Dre, and we're in the studio in the middle of making beats, and we were kind of interrupted, but we were all right, cool, whatever. And he's like, I need to take a picture with you guys. So we took a picture with him. It was cool. He left the building, went to, drove somewhere, came back and said, my outfit wasn't right. Let me take another picture. And said, And it's like me and Dre looked together like. He stormed out of the studio one time. Later, I was told, I wasn't there, with Dre, and he said, he called him the devil. He's like, "You're the devil," and he ran out like.
Kanye called Dre the devil?
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I don't know. Making devil music for me or something. I guess he was on his holy kick at that point.
And when you line that up with what Scott Storch shared, it all starts clicking. He described how Kim moved fast, changed her circles, and made her way straight into elite power networks. To back that up, Scott told another story, a session where Kanye dropped by. He and Dr. Dre were mid-session when they popped in, asked for a photo, and dipped, but weirdly enough, he came back shortly after in a completely different outfit just to retake the same picture. Scott and Dre looked at each other, both confused, like, what was that all about? Later, Kanye stormed out and called Dre the devil. Scott said Dre was left totally thrown. Maybe Kanye felt the energy was off, or maybe it hit deeper than just the music.